Shalom, shalom, shalom. Elder Boaz here. It's the Shabbat, and we are out here relaxing on this beautiful Sabbath day. I've started the process of pasture rotation, and we've been able to put fencing up in the front to secure the front half of the property. So I thank the Father for being able to complete that project because it was a daunting one. A lot of time, a lot of money to put up fencing, but being so busy out here with the gardening and with the projects that's going on and off the land, you don't have a time or a lot of time to spend focusing on what's going on in the world. And some of the things that I've recently been able to review and watch, a perfect example is that video that this guy did about This Is America. And it was shocking, and it was telling the story, and as well as whole Kanye West situation. And listening to what he was actually saying and how the intent can be lost if you're not absolutely clear in what you're saying. But I was looking at the intent of what he was saying when it came to 400 years of slavery. And, it goes to the state of people in general today, because when I look at this system, whether you're black, white, this system is about rich and poor, free and bond. So I look at the state of the country and the state of people in general, and everybody's getting hit, whether it's the opioid addiction that's affecting white America with all of these prescription drugs. I mean, they're affecting everybody, but it just seems to be manifesting methamphetamine. You're talking a continued high rates of incarceration. You're talking about the high unemployment rolls. You're talking about all of these things that are going on and how it's affecting people. And, I have the opportunity from time to time to, talk to people. And it's nothing like looking at statistics, looking at analytics and metrics when it comes to what's going on in society today and how far we've fallen. But it's something else to actually be on the phone and talk to individuals that are feeling the effects of what's going on in society today. And as I say over and over, it's over and over again. It's bad, and it's getting worse out there. I mean, I think we're at worse, and we're just growing on in the uncharted territories. And it's important now even more so when we are engaging in life, whether it comes to career, whether it comes to marriage, wherever it comes to economics, spiritual matters. We need to be focusing on listening to people that are doers, people that are have a manifestation of their life of something that you aspire. Me personally, everything I do, I must say I was inspired by others by watching them do. Not watching what people say, watching what they do, because at the end of the day, your actions speak so loud, I cannot hear what you say. I don't focus on what people are saying. I watch what they're doing. Because that is going to give clarity in my heart, my mind, and my spirit as to whether I should be lending an ear to them or not. And this is what RTA is all about. We have an assembly of men that specialize in different areas, because if you're not putting yourself in a right situation, economically, spiritually, physically, socially, you're going to fall prey to and be a casualty of war. And that's what we're having. We're having a crisis, a casualty of war of people that are just being sucked up by the system, drowning in debt, homelessness, pregnancies, stressed families, stress everything. And the only way we're going to stop this is if we put together good, sound, individual plans of action for people that have the intestinal fortitude to see things through. That's not going to quit, but is going to go from faith to faith and glory to glory to press on to the high calling and the high mark. That's the kind of focus that we need, because you'd be surprised what you can accomplish if you just stay focused on what it is that you would like to achieve. And I look at it from because this is from a perspective across the board, but I look at it from a biblical Hebraic fashion, from when you look at what people are able to accomplish, and you look at their walk, it always came with straight challenges and struggles and even setbacks. But again, when you are able to have access to men that have been through things and that can teach you something, I give a perfect example when it comes to starting a family and marriage. I mean, I didn't have my first son till I was 30 years old, when I think about it, because, something in me just told me, how do I support this family? How do I, if I want to have a wife and children, how do I provide for them? How do I ensure that they're not homeless, that we're not living off other people's couches, that we're not down at the soup kitchen? I mean, I really thought about these things. And if you start a family too early, you can be in a situation like many people that I know, where they're young, they're not established, they have children, and they're growing their families, and it's stress because they're in a situation socioeconomically as to where they're living to service debt, they're living to service bills, they're just living to exist, and they're not really making any progress in their lives. And you know how one medical debt can just destroy a family. You know how many situations where you're out there and you're starting a family and you get the wrong woman pregnant, and then before you know it, you're $100,000 in arrear in child support. And that stuff can be wiped off your credit report. I mean, this stuff stays with you. Student loan debt, all of these things. So if you have a good plan in place, and this is why we stress gardening, farming, agriculture, animal husbandry, construction, real things, real skills, burial services. I mean, these are things that are collapse proof. These are things that, if you're in these fields, you can make great money, but you can build a business and secure your family because you know how to do things with the labor of your hands. We're going to be having a conference call again tomorrow, and I'll put the link below, of young men that are calling in and that are looking for solutions, and we're giving them sound quality solutions. And there are others that are looking for these solutions, and you have men that's been there, done that, and can teach you something in their areas of expertise. I can't hope to stress that enough, because if I'm not skilled at something, then just because I'm skilled in one area, that doesn't mean that I'm skilled in another area. And this is why, again, it's so important to have skilled folks that you can ask questions and get guidance from. Very important, because a lot of people are just making, I see it today, and it's they're casualties of war, whether it's family wise, marriage material wise, man or woman, economics, debt. Just casualties of war. And so if you want to make the right choices and decisions, And if you are indeed a person that is a doer, a person that takes action, is just tired of being in the same rut, it will behoove you to, reach out and listen in, and so that you can get the information that you need to steer clear of things that can really jack you up in the long run, can really mess you up. And I see it happening. The stories, I mean, they're disheartening. And it lines up with the portrayal in media and the headlines of what's going on. It's a mess out there. Come out of her and come from among them, and be ye separate. And that requires action. Blessed not the hearers, but the doers of the word. That requires action. You shall put your hand to the plow. Those who put their hand to the plow and look back is not fit for anything. It's sad, but that requires action. Be a doer. Be a person of action. Apply yourself. Stick with it, and you will bear the fruit. Have a blessed Sabbath, and I'm going to continue my day of rest. Shalom.